There could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So the money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not return.
In a recent development, Caitlin might be reconsidering her decision to relocate to Europe. This comes after she first declared that she would take a hiatus from basketball.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened.
Given the high salaries offered in Europe, Caitlin might be persuaded to relocate there.
Already in Istanbul, where she will be playing for the offseason. And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season.
It would be the cherry on top if Caitlin felt that this was the best course of action for her career given the treatment she has received from the NBA and the decline in their viewership.
Going to load up against better competition, and she played an entire college basketball season, and she didn't play well. And I said at the time, she didn't deserve to be on the Olympic team. And at the time, I felt that.
Since then, Caitlin has had a fantastic season. The WNBA is calling for her return after she broke records left, right, and center. Viewership has drastically decreased since Caitlin left, and because she might move to the EuroLeague, the WNBA may be coming to an end. More than a week has passed after Caitlin's Rookie of the Year victory was leaked on Twitter, and the WNBA has yet to make an official announcement. Few names in the world of basketball have become famous as rapidly as Caitlin. Nike, who supposedly offered her this incredible deal, has also cut her off and hasn't posted about her in months. The hate is truly insane. Caitlin has to leave as soon as possible, even though Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's Rookie of the Year, has electrified fans at every level of the game. There is growing speculation that she might be tempted to move to the Women's EuroLeague. Europe offers lucrative paychecks as well as a different basketball culture that might appeal to a player like Clark, who has faced challenges in the WNBA. Could Europe be the next chapter in her already legendary career? Today, we'll dive into Caitlin's incredible journey, the obstacles she has faced in the WNBA, and the possibility of moving overseas could change her basketball legacy.
WNBA has been a mess this year. It has been so unprofessional, and they need to step it up, and they need to step it up quick. And they also need to, I don't know if an apology is warranted to Caitlin Clark, or they just need to, in general, do.
The WNBA didn't just find a talented player in Caitlin Clark. They also found a star with that rare it factor that elevates the entire game. Despite her undeniable success, Caitlin Clark has had an unquestionable impact on the league. She has attracted new fans, and her ability to create those wow moments has made her must-see TV. In the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has encountered many difficulties. One of the most significant obstacles has been the league's physicality. Every night, Caitlin has been the target of persistent shoving, pushing, and aggressive play from opponents who view her as the greatest threat on the court. It's no secret that rival teams frequently target her with the knowledge that if they can slow her down or get under her skin, they might have a chance to win. However, what irritates Caitlin and her supporters even more is how often these players seem to get away with using excessively physical tactics because of inconsistent officiating or just the burden of being a star. Caitlin has had to put up with a level of rough treatment that many feel is unfair. The constant hits and fouls that go unnoticed only make her wonder if she's being protected as a top player in the league, not to mention the financial concerns.
Wembanyama, who was, an NBA star coming into the league, he just finished up his rookie season. He's going into his next. If you look at his rookie salary, which was around $55 million for 4 years, and then you look at Caitlin Clark's $300 and I think it was $38,000.
When compared to her male NBA rivals or even players in other women's leagues, Caitlin's salary is far less than what she merits, even though she is the face of the WNBA and one of the most intriguing talents in the sport. Even though Caitlin lights up the court and attracts new fans, her pay is startlingly modest, falls well short of her worth. In contrast, European teams and leagues like the Women's EuroLeague are offering far more lucrative contracts, even to players without Caitlin's level of talent or star power. Many European players make significantly more than their WNBA counterparts, despite the fact that the level of competition may not always be as high.
Response of folks that don't think she is praised enough and she is above reproach in terms of criticism, or that praising another player is an affront to her, is like, whoa, bro. Like, also, like, you're not mentioned talking about women's basketball. I've never ever seen you before in my life.
Caitlin finds it frustrating that although she has worked hard to become the league's face and continues to deliver game-changing performances, her financial compensation does not match her contribution to the WNBA salary. In recent years, Europe's women's basketball leagues, especially the Euro League, have experienced significant growth. Not only are the players paid better, but they are also treated like superstars with packed arenas, fervent fans, and fierce rivalries. For a player like her, the atmosphere is electrifying, and the support for women's basketball in Europe frequently feels more fervent and pervasive than in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, who has occasionally felt undervalued in the WNBA, may find this to be very alluring. What may have begun as a straightforward trip to Europe to take a break from basketball and rejuvenate after a taxing WNBA season could develop into something more, experiencing the respect and appreciation European leagues offer their players along with the financial benefits.
Clark, it seems like this entire season, she was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches, media people, so many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. Her fans were the issue. Fever fans were the...
Although Caitlin originally intended to take a break from basketball, she has been honest about her competitive nature. In fact, she has stated that she would probably grow bored without the game. Since Caitlin is a player motivated by her passion for the sport and her insatiable desire to compete, the idea of picking up a basketball again, but this time in Europe where she could be paid more and treated with the respect a star of her caliber deserves, must be in the back of her mind.
The playoffs, the Fever had nearly 2 million viewers tuning in, while all the other games had around 400,000. Even the WNBA Countdown, which was aired before the Indiana Fever game, had more viewers than 2 of the series.
Imagine the headlines if Caitlin Clark signed with a top EuroLeague team. The impact on the European basketball scene would be seismic. Fans from all over Europe would flock to arenas just to watch her play. The ratings for Clark's EuroLeague games would skyrocket, and her signing might even attract sponsors and media attention that had not previously been available to women's basketball in the region. However, what about the WNBA? If Caitlin were to leave, it would be more than just a loss for her team. It would be a devastating blow to the league as a whole. One of the biggest stars in the league, Caitlin's name alone has attracted new fans to the WNBA. Her ability to generate excitement and increase ratings has been crucial to the league's expansion. Without her, the WNBA would probably see a sharp drop in viewing.
Somebody that's come along, who, by the way, I'm going to go there, who happens to be white, and brought a level of attention and allure to the sport it had not received before. And what we were seeing from an abundance of folks appeared to be resentment.
Without a doubt, Caitlin Clark's presence has a direct impact on ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and television ratings. If she were to leave for Europe, those numbers could take a sharp nosedive, leaving the WNBA scrambling to fill the void left by their brightest star. The league has long struggled to achieve the same level of recognition and media attention as the NBA, and losing a marquee player like her would be devastating.
Exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best team out there.
Caitlin Clark's possible move to Europe should serve as a serious wake-up call for the WNBA. If the league wants to retain its brightest star, it needs to start treating her better. This isn't just about money, though financial compensation is undoubtedly a big part of the equation. More than anything, it's about respect and creating an environment where star players like Caitlin feel truly valued, not just for their exceptional talent on the court, but also for the excitement, attention, and revenue they bring to the league. Caitlin has repeatedly shown that she can handle the pressure, physicality, and attention, that there's a limit to how much mistreatment or underappreciation a WNBA star can endure before they start looking for alternatives. For someone like Caitlin, Europe presents an alluring opportunity to be paid more fairly, treated with the respect she deserves, and loved by a new, fervent fan base. while WNBA fans will move on and follow her wherever she goes.
Let me thank Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and all the rest for refusing to say die, refusing to lose, fighting back again and again and again, and playing at a much higher level than they should be at this stage and age. Was I ever entertained?
The WNBA is expanding, but it still lacks the financial and cultural recognition of its male counterpart, the NBA. If the league wants to avoid losing not just Caitlin, but possibly other elite players, it must put more emphasis on developing a better experience where its stars are treated as the game changers they are. If Caitlin Clark were to move across the pond to play in the EuroLeague, it could start a domino effect where other elite players begin to question whether Europe is a better option for their careers, seeking better compensation, treatment, and overall experiences in leagues outside of the US. The allure of higher salaries, a supportive environment, and fervent fan bases may prove difficult for many athletes to resist, especially when they witness one of the WNBA's brightest stars making that decision. This poses a significant challenge for the WNBA. How can they keep Caitlin Clark satisfied and make sure that she and other players in her position aren't tempted to leave for Europe's lucrative and increasingly prestigious leagues?
Single time that they were on the road, you even had Dallas Wings players saying, like, it kind of sucks seeing so many Indiana Fever and 2020 or 22 jerseys in the stands, but it's also cool to see a lot of people in the stands. Like, Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games, and so it's kind of sad that through all of that, Caitlin was still advocating for players on the other team to get bonuses because she saw the kind of money and eyeballs and viewership that all of this was generating.
Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA runs the risk of stagnation and a possible talent exodus to Europe. If the league wants to keep its best players and keep growing, it must take proactive measures to meet their needs. Her departure would be more than just the loss of a star player. It would mean a loss of momentum for the entire league. More than just where she chooses to play basketball in the future, Caitlin Clark's possible transfer to the Women's EuroLeague reflects the larger problems that women's basketball players of her quality face worldwide who add tremendous value, excitement, and skill to the game should be paid fairly and accorded the respect they deserve.
Caitlin Clark effect is definitely real. I mean, we can all see that. However, experiencing it in person is totally different. I was at the Fever and Indiana game last night, and the amount of 22s that I saw on the way to the arena and inside the Capital One Arena might as well have just been a home game for Caitlin Clark. Not Indiana, Caitlin Clark. The thing is, that didn't surprise me. But what did surprise me was how packed the game was.
The financial gap between the WNBA and European leagues draws attention to a growing issue. Elite athletes in the US are frequently underpaid, particularly when compared to their international counterparts. If the WNBA doesn't take action to address this issue, European leagues are more than willing to welcome stars like Caitlin with open arms, offering better pay, fan engagement, and support. It remains to be seen whether Caitlin decides to stay in the WNBA and fight for change, but her choice will surely have an impact on her career. However, if she departs, it might force the WNBA to reconsider how they treat their players and start a larger discussion about equity in the sport.
What is the major point that you want to make here, your major thesis statement on this? Because every time Caitlin Clark comes up, I feel like there's something that you want to get off your chest in terms of this narrative, where you're frustrated.
Well, first of all, I'm not frustrated. Number two, I did get stuff off my chest on numerous occasions. I'm just reiterating my points because I think one of the things that needed to be mentioned was that even though Caitlin Clark is new to this, and even though she has proven to be a potentially sensational player, the resentment that some, not most, not all, that stuff that was going on was real.
What is the main point you want to make here, your main thesis statement? Because every time Caitlin Clark comes up, I get the impression that you're frustrated with this story. First of all, I'm not frustrated. Second, I did get things off my chest on multiple occasions. I'm just restating my points because I believe one of the things that needed to be mentioned was that, despite the fact that Caitlin Clark is new to this and has shown herself to be a potentially sensational player, the resentment that some of it was genuine.
She may have exceeded expectations, even more so than
Caitlin Clark has already accomplished a great deal in a short period of time. Her electrifying style of play and her leadership both on and off the court have solidified her as one of the most influential figures in women's basketball. However, as her basketball journey continues to develop, the decisions she makes will not only shape her career, but also have a significant impact on the future of women's sports as a whole. If the WNBA wants to retain its brightest star, they must start treating Caitlin like the respect and recognition her abilities deserve. Ticking, and Caitlin Clark is about to make a career-defining decision that could change the landscape of women's basketball for years to come. Angel may have surpassed expectations even more than Caitlin. What do you think will happen? Will Caitlin Clark stay in the WNBA, or will the allure of Europe's higher pay and love for their players influence her decision? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Add more videos to the screen by subscribing.